What's going on, hooligans? My name's Kurt and welcome to Walt Disney Landorus. If this is your first time joining us, make yourself at home. I hope you have a good time. If not, welcome back. I'm glad to have you around. Today we start a brand new Draft League adventure, but one like never before. Today we are reviewing our draft for the DDL. Now you may be asking, what is the DDL? It is a doubles, that's right, doubles draft league hosted by the Sierra Dawn community. Links to Sierra and her community Discord alongside all the other coaches who I know will be uploading will be linked down below, so please go check everybody out. Now let's talk a little bit about me and my doubles background, because if you know me, you know I'm a Draft League singles vet, playing the format for almost 5 years, but in doubles, that's a whole new beast. First, I gotta shout out my boy Pino, who has been helping me practice doubles, help me draft, and will be helping me prep and get ready for my games each week. Pino unfortunately doesn't have any links that I can send you guys to, but make sure to type hashtag PinoTheGoat in the comments below to let him know that everybody here at Walt Disney Landorus appreciates him and his help. As for my personal experience with doubles, well, I know enough to get by. I hit high Ultra Bowl rank in the in-game ladder in Series 7. Shut up, that's an accomplishment for a guy who has not touched doubles in like 4 years. And besides that, I've done a little bit of dabbling in the ORAS days, but that's about it for my doubles knowledge. I have been interested watching players like Cybertron, Duncan, Wolfie, Sierra, and more in this past WBE VGC season, so when this opportunity came up, I knew this would be an awesome opportunity. Now, let's get into how the league is formatted before we finally get into the meat and potatoes of this video, our draft. The DDL is a 7-week regular season, a lot shorter than a singles draft league, meaning every week matters. Also for the doubles format, games are bring 6 to team preview, but only lock in 4. This adds a whole new layer of game planning, having to plan multiple game plans, or modes as they're often called within the double scene. Thirdly, winning one game does not win us the week. Games are best of 3. This means after the first game is completed, we go back to team preview, select 4 from the 6 we brought, and run it again. Should we win one, lose one, we go to a game 3 to decide the winner of the set, or the match. The draft followed the fairly standard tiering system that singles has been using for years, just adjusted to fit the doubles format. Each team must draft 2 tier 1s, 2 tier 2s, 2 tier 3s, and 1 tier 4. Alongside those 7 mandatory picks, we get 250 free points to spend on 4 free picks, which can be a combination of any Pokemon from the tiers as long as we stay within the budget. Now, with all the rules explained, let's get into why we're here. Let us reveal the Walt Disney Landorus' DDL Season 1 roster. Round 1, our team captain of sorts came to us at pick number 5 out of 16. So, Pino and I discussed a few months prior to the draft, Pokemon like Urshifu Single Strike, Tapu Fini, and Porygon 2. Pino had sent me a chart of the top 20 Pokemon most used in the Players' Cup that prior weekend, and once it got to us, we decided that number 3 on the list would be a great mon for me to use, as well as a comfort pick for Pino, who, let's be honest, may be doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to team building, at least for the first few weeks until I get comfortable. So pick number 1 for us, a familiar face if you watched our BBL Season 6 run, we decided to draft Jungle Book, the Rillaboom. Now, what does Rillaboom do? How does it differ from singles? Well, it really doesn't differ from singles. Rillaboom sets up grassy terrain, throws off powerful grassy glides, and has access to moves such as Wood Hammer, Knockoff, and Acrobatics, which is a good thing to note in a format where any Pokemon can Dynamax. In terms of doubles coverage, it gets Fake Out to flinch or force protect mind games, Snarl, a special dark move that hits both opponents and lowers their special attacks by 1 stage, and Taunt to prevent shenanigans, because you already know we don't like shenanigans here in Walt Disney Landorus. Round 2 comes around and Pino and I were already discussing certain mons we wanted to pair with Rillaboom, certain things that we would want or need down the line, but a certain Pokemon came back that we really didn't expect. So we decided to take our plans and throw them all out the window, and restarted when we saw this king laying around. If you're a singles player, you hate to love him and love to hate him. One of the Smogon Goats. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to introduce Mufasa, the Landorus Therian, to the Walt Disney Landorus. Lando T does exactly what it does in singles format, except in doubles, he claims 2 kills with Earthquake instead of 1. And he can Dynamax, giving him a super powerful 1-turn flying stab attack that will also boost his speed, also known as why Dynamax is banned in singles. In doubles, Dynamax is a lot more manageable, with 2 Pokemon attacking into it, things like Redirection, Protect, and Ally Switch all messing around with targets of the Dynamax attack, whereas in singles, those things don't exist. Another note for Landorus between singles and doubles is Stealth Rocks are not commonly run, if at all. Because 2 Pokemon are on the field at all times, and you only bring 4 per game, switching is not a super prominent strategy in the format, or at least enough to where Stealth Rocks would be viable. Therefore, wasting a turn setting up hazards really doesn't gain you much as it does in singles. Landorus still brings plenty to the table and lots of coverage moves that have different Dynamax effects, Intimidate being very useful in doubles hitting both targets. Paired with its natural bulk, the King of OU sits on a throne in VGC as well. Pick number 3 slides our way, and it may look a little bit odd, especially paired with our first 2 picks, but this was a trust me moment from Pino. Pick 3, we decided to grab King Swine himself, Mr. No Switchins, Mr. Pumbaa the Mamoswine. Now, alongside Landorus T, being a second ground and grabbing 2 ground types with Rillaboom and grassy terrain, you may be severely confused. Don't worry, I was too. But double ground prevents a lot of electric spam, electric terrain spam that is common in doubles, coming from Pokemon such as Tapu Koko, Zapdos, and Galar's very own Regieleki. Mamoswine also gives us an Ice type breaker. Ice types in general are a very solid offensive typing, as Ice is only resisted by Fire, Water, and fellow Ice types. This means that Ice Spam can be a very easy endgame if you can pressure the opponent's bulky waters and any potential fire types that they may have as well. One big difference that came to a surprise to me was that Mamoswine in doubles often doesn't run Thick Fat, or at least not as much as it does in singles. Oblivious is an ability that prevents the user from being taunted, however in Generation 8 they buff the ability to also avoid Intimidate. Intimidate being nullified from lowering Mamoswine's attack makes it that much more of an offensive powerhouse for teams to deal with if not prepared carefully for it. Our next pick really decided on the path we were going to take for the rest of the draft, with how we picked certain mons and when we needed them. This pick was heavily debated because there was a lot of candidates, but 2 main players, Blastoise and Nagano. Both offered humongously different things to the team. While both would have been nice, we really couldn't fit both onto a team with the rest of our plans and requirements without one becoming more of a hindrance to the team. So it really came down to one thing for me to decide between these 2 Pokemon: personal preference. Now, I love Blastoise, it's my favorite Pokemon in the world, but Nagano, I've never seen or used myself, so to form a personal opinion, I need to actually use it. Therefore, our 4th pick for the DDL will be Mushu the Nagano. Nagano is another similar Pokemon to Landorus in the fact that in singles, it simply just clicks buttons, and that's why it's often banned, and it's simply too much to handle. In VGC, it's not as big of a threat, but still just clicks buttons. Nagano is another phenomenal Dynamax option. Being able to raise both the special attack and speed with viable moves outside of Dynamax is just a huge nuke. It, like Landorus, doesn't get any major double specific moves besides Snarl, but it really doesn't need more niches. Its sheer ability to break down walls and remove offensive threats, being able to outspeed a vast majority of the game barring speed adjustments, makes it an amazing tier 2 pickup and another amazing Pokemon for our team, which I'm very excited to use. Now that we have some strong wall breakers, we really need to start filling in some holes, some necessary typings, filling in weaknesses, getting some more double standards, like in singles when you prioritize hazards, removal, speed tiers, fire, water, grass, fairy, dragon, steel cores, etc, etc. In doubles, it's things like fake out, redirection, trick room, and tailwind options, being able to adjust speed. Things like that to support our breakers to do what they need to do. Break. So we're looking and we decided we needed a dark type, ideally one with some nice utility. Well, one pretty little cat started purring at me and I knew she had to join the squad. So pick number 5 for us is none other than Figaro, our Alolan Persian. What does this kitty offer? First is Fake Out. The ability to remove a Pokemon's turn by flinching it or forcing a Protect turn is amazing in doubles. Having 2 Pokemon attack, having to waste 1 on protecting could really put us ahead. It also learns Parting Shot. Now, I know I said switching isn't an insanely valuable thing like it is in singles, but Parting Shot lowering stats of an opposing Pokemon can be very handy, especially in the face of our own Dynamax captain. Basically, making their attacks do no types of damage to us. Persian also has a base 115 speed tier, making it faster than a lot of other support type Pokemon and can overall be an absolute nuisance. This round's pick was a mon we've been planning since round 2. Even after we scrapped all the plans for picking up Mufasa, this mon stayed on the plan because we saw it as an absolute value pick and a fun mon I was very interested in trying. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get your rock and roll on, as we introduce Coco, the Toxtricity. Now I know we said we needed to fill holes and didn't need more breakers. Well, Tox is actually the opposite of that. Another phenomenal Dynamax option, being able to Dynamax or Gigantamax and fire off wildly strong electric and poison Dynamax moves. Tox fills another solid breaker, as well as bringing another Taunter and Snarler to the team, as well as some more unique tech in Encore and Nuzzle. Encore locks the targeted Pokemon into a move it previously selected for 3 turns. This can be really clutch, as if a Pokemon gets locked into something like Tailwind or Trick Room, they are either a sitting duck or forced to switch, meaning one less attack is fired off on our side. Nuzzle is a very nice, very cheesy, 100% accurate Thunder Wave. that also has 20 base power. Do I expect to get nuzzle kills? Probably. It's me, I'm a psychopath, and I'll most likely throw a game away just to get a nuzzle kill. But do I think paralyzing things is super nice? Yes, because if you cannot outskill somebody, you can out-hack somebody, and that is the #1 rule of competitive Pokemon. So a common theme with my picks has been powerhouses and singles, and while this may not be the smartest way of drafting, comfort picks in an unknown format can be very useful when trying to learn. This next mon is one we thought was a steal at the price it was at, given its potential support capabilities. Round 7, we decided to pick up one of my favorite Pokemon in singles draft, and our mandatory tier 4 pick, Sherwood the Tangrowth. This was a pick that turned a lot of heads in the draft chat, as pairing a second bulky grass with our already kind of wonky team looked super weird. But we saw the value in Tangrowth for such a low point value that others may not have. Tangrowth gets a lot of offensive coverage to mess with teams, with access to things like Rock Slide, Knockoff, Brick Break, and Poison Jab. It also gets Grassy Glides to pair with Rillaboom's grassy terrain, so potential Grass Weak draft could be in a lot of trouble for our Tang Boom core. Tangrowth also gets Rage Powder, a bug-type support move that redirects attacks to the user. This paired with Tangrowth's insane physical bulk could be super clutch for a second Pokemon on the field to pick up another knockout, while Tangrowth just sits there eating attacks that were directed at its partner. Next, we're gonna go shopping, spending some of our free points. There were 2 potential options for this pick, but one had a little bit more value and some more tech that we could abuse than the other. We really wanted a fire type with nice utility, and who better to be a fire type support than Gen 6 OU God, Iago, the Talonflame. Talonflame offers a ridiculous 126 base speed tier, also filling the speed gap between Naganadel and Alolan Persian. Talonflame offers plenty of utility moves to support our offensive breakers for victory. Moves such as Taunt, Will-O-Wisp, Tailwind, and Quick Guard. Quick Guard is a fighting type support move that protects both members on your side from priority moves for the rest of the turn, which could be a surprise factor in some situations, things locked into extreme speed, bullet punch, etc. Talonflame's 2 abilities are also amazing. Gale Wings let all flying type attacks used by the user have priority if Talonflame is at full HP. Flame Body has a 30% chance to burn if hit by a physical attack that makes contact. The potential to burn a physically offensive threat while being able to fire off another attack at the same time can just cripple certain Pokemon, and one bad turn can ruin an entire match in doubles, as with less Pokemon to use and less turns to make plays and to recover from the back foot. This pick is going to look weird. I feel like I've said that a lot this draft, but don't worry, it all comes together in the end. With our 9th pick, we decided to grab another mode for our team. We grabbed Pascal, our Dreadnought. Dreadnought gives us a 3rd Gigantamax Pokemon, alongside Toxtricity and Rillaboom. DDL didn't make us declare a certain Gigantamax Pokemon or a certain Dynamax captain. The rule states that any Pokemon can Dynamax or Gigantamax at any time, no captains necessary. Gigantamax Pokemon have very strong moves compared to just regular Dynamaxing moves, which sounds crazy in itself, but a lot of them have special secondary effects. This forces more prep on our opponents to respect all 3 potential Gigantamax options, as well as potential other Dynamax options such as Landorus. Dreadnought is known for being a very powerful rain sweeper, being able to set manual rain via Rain Dance or via Max Geyser, being able to be paired with another rain setter down the line. Dreadnought is a simple wall breaker for our team, but another solid Dynamax option as it gets many moves of various types. This also offers the rain mode, which forces more prep on teams. Dreadnought gets useful moves for the following types: Water, Rock, Fighting, Normal, Dragon, Ground, Dark, Ice, Bug, Poison, and Steel. All of those moves have very nice secondary Dynamax effects, whether that be raising our stats, lowering our opponents, or resetting different types of weather. Second to last round, we were saving a budget for one more expensive toy, and then one last tier 4 team member to fill out our roster. Since I knew at the time that nobody could snipe us of our final tier 1, we decided to take our tier 4 to avoid any accidental snipes. Now, we wanted a Psychic type, and in tier 4 there are not many to choose from. We were heavily considering Mr. Mime, who provided a Fairy and a Psychic type, screen support, and a nice speed tier. But then I noticed that Trick Room is a very good mode versus our current roster, so we wanted something to bully potential Trick Room options or a full-on Trick Room team. That's why we decided to grab none other than Milo Thatch himself, Belhem. This is a Pokemon who is never drafted in singles, but in doubles can serve some pretty niche roles. First, its abilities. Analytic is a very powerful ability that boosts an attack's power by 1.3 times if it is the last Pokemon to move on the turn. This is a super strong with Belhem's base 40 speed. Alongside its mediocre 75, 75, 95 bulk, it can fire off some very strong base 125 analytic boosted attacks to run down teams. Its second useful ability is Telepathy. Telepathy is one of those abilities you never really see because, well, it's a doubles ability. It avoids the attacks of your own allies and doesn't take damage from them. This is phenomenal paired with our team, with Pokemon such as Landorus and Swine clicking Earthquake, Toxtricity clicking Boom Burst, or Nagano clicking Sludge Wave. Belhem will take no damage from any of them, while both Pokemon on the other side will be taking full damage from the attacks. Belhem also gives us a Trick Room option, being very slow to abuse its own Trick Room or abuse others' Trick Room who wish to bring it versus us. All I'm saying is, we're crazy on this channel, so never, ever count out Belhem. Our final pick goes hand in hand with Dreadnought. Everyone kind of knew it was happening once I picked Pascal, but I'm very excited to use this Pokemon on our team this season. Ladies and gentlemen, rounding out our DDL Season 1 draft lineup, it is your host of The Muppet Show.
It's time to get things started on the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, motivational. This is what we call the Muppet Show.
That's right, we drafted the Rain Setter, our boy Kermit the Frog, Politoed. Now, Politoed is often overlooked as a Rain Setter, being outclassed by Pelipper, but in doubles, Politoed's few tricks are more viable. Getting support moves like Encore, Parasong, and Helping Hand to assist in supporting our offensive threats, while also setting the Rain for Dreadnought. Helping Hand into a Life Orb Gigantamax Dreadnought attack? Sheesh! There is no Pokemon living that hit. It also gets Icy Wind, an Ice-type attack that hits both enemies and lowers their speed by one stage. And of course, the most broken move in singles format, Scald. The what seems to be like a 100% chance to burn Water-type move that is now Rain boosted for extra damage. Kermit is also a very cute Pokemon, very nice support Pokemon, and I'm very glad to have him to finalize our roster for this season. And that's it! That is our DDL Season 1 draft. Now, if you're new here, I would usually do a season breakdown of our schedule, but since not everyone is uploading nor has a YouTube channel, I didn't think it would fit the most hype each week. That being said, I am going to give a season prediction for how I think I will do this season. Now, I have been practicing, and I will continue to practice all season long. But I think for my first series doubles competition, I would be more than happy going 4-3, maybe even 3-4, trying to take every game to a game 3. Like I said in my intro, I know enough VGC to get by, I can beat somebody who doesn't know anything about VGC, but I don't know enough to truly excel or be known as a phenomenal VGC player. But I plan to improve to get myself to that point. But between a really cool team and the help I will get from Pino, and hopefully the rest of you guys as well, I think we could pull out a half decent record for our first time in doubles and put a few wins on the board. So what do you think of our team? How do you think we will do? Let me know in the comment section below. If you're new here, please consider hitting the subscribe button, as we are currently on the goal to 200 subscribers by the end of February. I do a lot of competitive Draft League and other competitive Pokemon content here, so if that's something that interests you, please hit the subscribe button. It's free and you could always change your mind later. I would also love if you left a like on the video. It would let me know that you enjoy this style of scripted content, or if you guys would prefer me with a face cam on talking about all my Pokemon like how I've done other draft analysis. And with that, I'm going to get on out of here. If you guys did enjoy your stay at Walt Disneylanders, please hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, mine has been Kurt, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. I'm out.